I'm going to tell you about the truth behind the beef between Drake and Jay-Z. A lot of people want to know what's going on between them and how problems came to be about. Well, this maybe happened around, 6 years ago when Drake started getting real hot in the game. Drake always been a fan of Jay-Z. You see, from the beginning, he always liked the Jay-Z's music. Back in his teenage years, that was his favorite artist. Every rapper, every rap star in the game has a favorite artist. Whether they tell you or not, they know who it is. And in Drake's case, Jay-Z, he's a fan. He's a big fan of Jay-Z. He also likes Beyonce's music as well. He's fans of that couple. But the problems with Jay-Z and Drake started off basically Drake's arrogance and his success. It's kind of like kung fu. When the student, starts asking the master, let's challenge, let's battle. Like he's teaching you the game. You're watching Jay-Z, but you're taking his tactics and you want to turn against him later on. You know what I'm saying? A fan can be a fan one day, and when you accept that person, you show them the ropes, they can change on you. So Jay-Z didn't really see that coming, but Jay-Z is a real smart guy. He understands the game. He's been in this business for more than 18 years, So he's ready for things like this. See, Drake doesn't have experience based on challenging these mega stars such as Jay-Z. If he wants to take down Jay-Z, he's going to have a team, a structure around him the same way Jay-Z does, which he doesn't. But Drake is the hottest rapper in the game right now, like it or not. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is. Jay-Z is more of he was dethroned in a way. Jay-Z still, the man. He still is all the rappers' favorite artist. Guys look up to him. Everybody wants to be like Jay. That's just how the rap game is when you pay attention carefully. Guys love to be around him. Even guys like Diddy, who's way more successful than him. And, it doesn't matter. It's just, it goes by the popularity and who all the rappers care about. And in that case, it's Jay-Z. But let's get back to the beef with Drake and Jay-Z. Once Drake started selling a lot of albums, mixtape sales, he started being very hot on the billboards. His arrogance increased gradually, and Jay-Z started recognizing certain diss tracks that Jay-Z was, because rappers now they talk in codes, but if you can read between the lines, if you're a rapper or you really know hip hop music, then you understand certain people that these artists are referring to. Jay-Z throws a couple shots at Drake. Drake throws a couple shots at him as well, if you pay attention to the lyrics. Like on the Summer 16, for example, Drake is letting Jay-Z know, like, I know you see me. You see what I'm doing in the game. I'm the new you, but don't get it twisted. I could probably do it better than you. But in Jay-Z's eyes, Jay-Z's saying, well, I see you, but we have a different swag, and you can't move like me based on your circumstances. You don't own yourself. Basically on the keys. I know you guys heard that, the track with Jay-Z and Future. He's basically letting Drake know that, you're a hot artist, but the way I did it, it's gonna be hard to kind of copy that. You can't copy that and bite that the way I did it. But right now Drake is the hottest artist. Him and Jay-Z have a undercover beef. I don't want to say undercover because the media knows about it, but it's not a violent beef. It's more just based on success and Hall of Fame statures. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what it is. But Jay-Z has this thing with Tidal and Apple. So Drake is with Apple and Jay-Z's with Tidal. But see, Drake doesn't want to bow down to Jay-Z and move over to Tidal because he wants to feel like he's doing his own thing, that he's this great mogul himself. Why should he bow down to Jay-Z and join? So it's basically a competition. But the problem is Apple is worth billions and Tidal is only worth a couple $100 million. So they're trying to buy them out. It's kind of like Beats by Dre got bought out. Kind of the same way. Like, you're starting your empire, but we're going to get you out of the way. We don't want nothing in our way. No competition at all. But Drake is the hottest artist in the game. And, he can make your fans turn on you as an artist. That's exactly what he did to Meek Mill. Like, Meek Mill thought the street credibility was his Achilles heel, but he thought that was Drake's Achilles heel, him having street credibility. But now, things change. It's not about street credibility. People go by how the music sounds, how talented you are. You know what I'm saying? Drake is an amazing artist and his fan base is overwhelming for artists. Meek Mill's a great artist as well, but when you're talking about comparing them, Drake's on another level. He has too many fans. He's worldwide. He sells records, goes platinum. He just went platinum on his recent album. It's hard for an artist to do that nowadays. But, he sends a lot of shots towards Jay-Z. He sends a lot of shots towards other artists that get a lot of radio play. And it just seems like whatever Drake does, he wins, like, it's just the fans love him. You can't control what the fans want. That's why the beef between Meek Mill and Drake, Jay-Z warned Meek Mill to just, stay out of that. There's no way you're going to win that. It's kind of like Drake's the new 50 Cent. Back when 50 Cent was like a problem for everybody, but Drake does it in a more calmly manner, but it has the same effect. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not more like a rough, rugged guy. He just, when he hits you, he hits you. He may be laid back, but he's a very powerful artist and he can destroy your career just like how 50 did, a lot of artists back then. But, things change in the rap game. It's not really about CDs anymore. It's all about these iTunes sales, how much work you can get done on the internet, how much people's viewing your songs. It's all about views and shows. And, Drake gets like $100,000 a show plus, depending on where he goes. If it's north, he gets more. If it's south, he gets less. That's just the way it goes, But the Drake beef and Jay-Z beef is more on a success thing. It's kind of like, Jay-Z's one of my favorite artists. I need to admit that. But at the same time, Drake is the hottest artist. I can't deny that based on his long run. This run that he's been having, that's hard to do in these times where, album sales is not the same anymore. And he's still able to, go platinum, do those type of numbers that he's doing. He has a deal with Sprite. You know what I'm saying? He has deals with the Toronto Raptors. They basically have a Drake day. There's never been an artist really that had their own day from a franchise. You got to think about that. But, I think Jay-Z, based on my research, I've done a lot of research on this Jay-Z and Drake little beef, this little scuffle that they have. And I realized that Jay-Z is like the only artist that has potential to destroy Drake just because of his success and the power that he has in the rap game, how he can manipulate manipulate things based on his dollar amount. And he has Beyonce by his side, so that just makes things even easier for him to destroy you, because he has that access to her bank account anytime. It's just, Drake and his beef, it's like it's ongoing because Jay-Z kind of has a little animosity. I don't want to say Jay-Z's hating on Drake, is a hater of Drake, but he has a little animosity because the older you get, you realize what these youngins are doing that used to be you. It's kind of like the NBA, like Kevin Durant and Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley has an issue with these new stars getting praise. You see how he always speaks negative about these superstars because, he never won a championship. But he used to be a great player and a great, competitor. But sometimes, everyone has their time. You got to know when the next person comes in to give them props. You know what I'm saying? Which Jay-Z did give Drake props, early in his career. But Jay-Z did not expect Drake to be what he is now. They just thought it was going to be a little run for his money. But what Drake turned out to be was the hottest artist that we have seen in like the past, maybe, I say 10 years. Well, the last biggest artist maybe was Kanye West, and he's not the same anymore. His music turned dark ever since, College Dropout and those albums. His music changed once his mother died. Drake has been the most consistent artist for the past, 6-7 years. You have to agree with me. And his record sales, his fan base is off the charts. We all know that. But Jay-Z still has this mobster stature that Drake wishes he can achieve and get, but he can't as well. And that bothers Drake because he can't get the same approach that Jay-Z gets from his fans. It is what it is. Just be yourself. You make great music. You have a great melody, great voice. Just do you. Stay in your own lane. That's what gave you your success, And, you don't need street credibility to be successful in the rap game. You just have to be a talented artist that knows how to make hits. That's it. There's no excuses. You don't have to. Having a gun doesn't make you talented, Selling crack doesn't make you talented. I know plenty of people that do that for a living, but when they go in the booth, I'm like, it sucks. They're not good in music. You can have one or the other, or you can be balanced. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're like lucky, in this generation, you might be lucky and find a couple artists that does both, but it's more so balanced. But at the end of the day, the beef with Drake and Jay-Z is very interesting. How they both are these big superstars that can get their music out whenever they want, control the radio and stuff like that. So it's still interesting, but Drake has an advantage based on youth. He's like way younger than Jay-Z, and the younger you are and the more talented you are, you get more attention than the older guys. But Jay-Z is the only artist that can still make an album this age and it can damn near go platinum. You have to agree with that. That's pretty impressive for his age, how he's able to still, finesse the game the way he does. But the Drake and Jay-Z beef, it comes from just competition. It's the mainstream, Apple, Tidal, the owners behind the scenes that want this. We can't see what's going on in the background. A lot of people think it's just Drake and Jay-Z doing this amongst themselves, but you got to think about it. These type of things generate buzz. The media, people start making money off this. Magazines are sold. You get a lot of people get paychecks because of such great superstars like themselves going at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. It's all a big business at the end of the day. Hopefully it never leads to violence, cuz Drake and Jay-Z are like two of the most talented rappers ever. You have to agree with me. Like, they both would be on my top 10 list. Of course, Biggie and Tupac would be on that list as well, but Drake and Jay-Z damn sure did enough and made a lot of hits to be on that list as well. I think Drake's music is amazing, but I think in the business world, if he wants to compete with like Jay-Z and Diddy and those type of guys, he has to invest more in business, because his music is like amazing. Try to start, maybe an OVO. I know he has an OVO clothing line, but it's not really like being pushed and promoted the way that Diddy used to do Sean John and Jay-Z did Rockaware. It's not the same. And but other than that beef is always been present. A lot of people don't really know about it because Jay-Z is not really a radio talker. He's more subliminal. He takes shots through records and you have to break down the codes. See, Jay-Z talks in codes though when he raps or disses another artist. Drake learned that from Jay-Z, but took the ingredients and just turned it into something else. That's basically what's going on between them two. And it's just Twitter beef. They throw shots at each other. If you guys have them as friends on your account, sometimes they throw shots at each other, but you got to read between the lines. Like I said again, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure these things out. You just have to be hip hop orientated and know a little bit of stuff, about music. But yeah, the beef between them, I think it's just, they just should come out and make a record together again. It'll be very successful because they already done like 4 tracks together. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, like 4 records together. And Jay-Z has a problem. This is another issue I want to address with the Drake and Jay-Z beef. Kanye West was supposed to have a mixtape coming out with Drake. I'm not sure what the title of the mixtape was going to be called yet, because it was still names being thrown out there. But Jay-Z canceled that project just based on how him and Drake, it's not getting along at the moment, bad communication, things like that. So he canceled the album, and Kanye West was very upset with the situation, and now he's doing little media shots, getting on Twitter talking bad about Jay-Z and Beyonce. He's letting his feelings out. Kanye is a guy who speaks his mind. He's not scared of nobody. He's gonna say what he has to say, and he was affected by Jay-Z canceling that project just based on his personal problems with Drake. And Kanye felt like, that would have been a big success for him, coming out with Drake. Drake's the hottest artist in the rap game. How can you blame him for not being upset that? And some fans were upset too, because you got to think about it. Kanye and Drake, he's a producer. Drake is a amazing artist in the booth together. That would have been like magic. Just like the Drake and Future mixtape. That was like one of the best mixtapes I've ever heard in my life, But that wasn't expected because, those two artists are so different. But opposites make hits, that's how it works. That's how it works. Like Kobe and Shaq, they're so different, but together, championships just come out of nowhere. Well, yeah, I'll make another video about the Drake and Jay-Z beef, doing more research on them. But yeah, appreciate it. Nezgohard. I'll be back tomorrow with a new video about this. Keep you guys updated on the Drake and Jay.